What's going on, YouTube family? Hey, your boy must be feeling it because I'm coming right back at you guys with another video. So I keep getting emails from people in the Facebook group asking, Michael, when are we gonna get a broker course? All right, so I'm not gonna shoot a whole course on teaching you guys how to become a broker. Instead, what I figured was I'll just drop a YouTube video where I just give out all the sauce. Why gatekeep it, right? Instead of putting it inside the academy, I'm going to be bringing this to everybody. So you guys all out there can learn how to become a broker, all right? Because I feel like a broker is like the first stepping stone into the car rental business. Maybe when you don't have your ducks in a row, maybe when you don't have your credit where it needs to be at, you don't have your liquidity where it needs to be at, then a broker is your next logical option for getting started in the car rental game. So let's start first, all right? Let's define that. What is a broker? Pretty much, my best way to explain this is kind of like with real estate, right? You have a real estate agent. A real estate agent is kind of like a broker. They're connecting someone that wants to buy a house with someone that's trying to sell the house. All right, so a broker is a middleman and they connect both parties and they get a commission for it. All right, so same thing in the car rental business. All right, you've got someone that wants to rent a car and you have someone that owns a vehicle. The broker connects both of them. He collects a commission anywhere from 10% up to 20% on the deal, or the broker could pre-negotiate an amount with the owner of the vehicle. Like, hey, I know your vehicle, you rent it out for $500 a day. How about you give it to me at a wholesale price of $300, and then I can rent it out for $500, $600, $700, whatever I rent it out for, and I take what's on top, and I just give you your $300. All right, that's typically the way the broker transactions work. All right, so to become a broker, since you don't have your own liquidity, you don't have your own credit, you have to bring something to the table. If you don't have physical currency, you have to bring social currency. What do I mean by that? You need to know a lot of people. You've got to be an extrovert. You got to be a social butterfly. You've got to be the plug. People need to know you as a rental car plug around in the city, in your circles, whatever, in your family. People need to know you as a go-to person. When they think cars or car rentals, they think you. That's the only way, because you have to bring something to the table. All right, so there's several ways that brokers are able to drum up business. Number one, go through your Rolodex, go through your phone book. Let everybody know this is what you do. Put this on your social media, everywhere. Post organically everywhere. Let people know, screaming out from the rooftops that I am the broker. I am the rental car plug. Let everybody know. That's one way you could do it, all right? Another way is the brokers that are very extroverted. So typically most of these brokers are social butterflies. They're extroverts. They're always out and about. They're either like, they could be promoters in clubs. They know a lot of people that come into the city that need cars, maybe artists or influencers that come into the city. They promote them, and so they provide them with cars. They're always out in the clubs or hot spots or whatever. They know a lot of people in high-profile places that hit them up whenever they're in town, all right? So typically, when you have rappers or entertainers that come into the city, they don't call rental car companies like me. They're not on Google searching for a car rental company. No, they're calling their homeboy, yo, Tyrone, where you at? I'm in your city. I need a car. That's who they're calling, and then homeboy is the broker that will call people like us to get a car and get a commission on top of the deal. That's typically the way it works, all right? Because these guys already have trust. They've built trust with these brokers. Those are their people, their plugs, so they always call them first, all right? So that's how brokers drum a business. I know brokers that are always in a nightclub, in the clubs, and they're popping bottles and they got their names up on the signs like, yo, you know, whatever their car rental company name is. And that's another thing, guys. When you want to become a broker, you need to brand yourself like you're a car rental company. Don't shortchange yourself. I know most of the brokers in my city that are doing big things, they have their own company name, all right? They got their own business cards, all of that. They brand themselves like they're a full-fledged rental car company, all right? So they're popping bottles, their company name comes up, whatever it is, ABC Exotics. You know, they're flexing their names. They got shirts, they got all of that. They got the whole swag like they got a car rental company. They go as far as on their Instagram and social media pages, they're posting themselves with cars. Matter of fact, they post themselves with cars more than I do, right? A lot of these brokers, they come to my warehouse, take a bunch of pictures with my cars, and they're flexing all over the gram with my own vehicles more than I do. Like it's theirs. You know, I'm not saying come to my warehouse, start taking pictures of my cars. No, we're not letting you in. But I know these guys personally. That's the only reason why I let them do that. But my point is, you need to be able to take lifestyle photos. That way you are creating that persona, so to speak, that you are the rental plug, all right? People have to believe it, right? They need to know when they go to your page, like, oh, wow, this guy, yeah, he owns a car rental company, or, you know, he's always around cars, fancy cars. He must know how to get some cars or get me into some cars, All right, I know brokers that go as far as going to the mall. They go to the mall, any big malls in the area, and they're just passing out cars to people that look like their ideal clientele, right? They're passing out cars to them. They're at gas stations. They're just, man, talking to whoever they see, like, hey, you want a car for tonight? Or what? They just immediately spark up conversation. So wherever you're at, if you're at a restaurant, you see a waitress, she might need a car to get from point A to point B to get to work every day. All right, offer her your vehicles, drop a card, let her know, hey, if you need to if you want a vehicle maybe to get to work, let them know. All right, you should never always. Myron Golden always says, the offer you don't make is the offer they can't take. So always be making offers, guys. All right, wherever you're at, always be making offers. What's the worst that could happen? They say no. So that's organically how you guys could drum up business for your car rental company, all right, as a broker. The next way now is when you start doing paid ads, all right? You guys can actually run paid ads to get traffic to your website or into your own ecosystem so you can get your own phone buzzing, all right? Now, once you get those leads, you now pass them on to the car rental company, all right? So the bigger brokers that I know, these are the guys that are playing this for real. These are big time players in the space making more money than even car rental companies. All right, these guys actually invest in paid ads. And so as all of you guys know with ads, at the end of the day, it's all about ROAS, return on ad spend, ROAS. All right, if you put in $1 into your ads, if your ad is able to make you $2, you are profitable. All right, so all you have to do now is just keep pumping more money. Now you put $2 to get $4, put $4 to get $8. And then it just starts to multiply as long as you have a winning ad. So these brokers out there, the bigger ones, would actually start to invest some money into ads. You can start off with either Google ads, Google pay-per-click ads, or you can do Facebook ads in your area, localized to your area, start running Facebook ads, right? So once you see that people start hitting you up, like right now, perfect example, we've got a broker in my city. I'm not going to mention his name, but he's new in the game and he's running ads now. And typically when you start running ads, especially Facebook ads, the leads initially are trash because the algorithm is trying to optimize properly, trying to find the right clientele, right? The ones that convert, all right? But once it does, it starts hitting. And slowly at first, it was a little rough. A lot of his leads were just trash, but now they're getting better. Now we even have people, he's sending people now to our warehouse. Now, matter of fact, I think my team just told me today he just closed his first one. So that's the way it happens, right? When you start running ads, you got to give it some while, give it a week or two to optimize. Once it starts to optimize and you get that first lick, trust me, the high, the euphoria is amazing. And then from then on, it's just a matter of pouring gasoline on that baby. Now you start cooking with gas and you're off to the races. So that's the next way that you can really get into becoming a broker. But now the secret sauce to where, like, this is what takes you to the next level, guys. And this is stuff that I should be putting this stuff in my course. I might have to throw this into my course, yo. I don't know, man. I might have to throw this into my course. But
has the thought of starting a business been daunting to you? Does it scare you? Does it make you want to give up the second the thought comes into your head? What if I told you that was just a limiting belief? What if I told you that there was a community out there with like-minded people that are just as scared as you, but instead they come together and they understand that in unity there is power, there is strength, and they come together and they're all pursuing the same common goal. They're able to lift each other up, give each other game, exchange ideas, joint venture with each other. Allow me to introduce you to MTB Car R Academy, where there's people all over the country, people all over the world that are executing, running their car rental businesses, sharing their wins, sharing their tribulations, sharing their finds, no gatekeeping, and I'm also in there constantly contributing. You had all the resources at your disposal, expert group coaching and one-on-one calls with me, group coaching calls from business credit coach, so you guys can learn how to set up your LLCs the right way and go out there to go get funding. You have advertising and marketing coaches in there teaching you guys how to run profitable ads, so that way you guys get good return on ad spend. You're able to attract the right customers that'll pay you the money you deserve for your cars. In my academy, we have a proven roadmap that'll take you guys from point A all the way to point Z. That way, no stone is left unturned. You guys have all the resources at your disposal so that you guys are successful in your car rental journey. If you have a 680 plus credit score, or you have a liquidity, because this is a 4-figure investment, you need to have some liquidity to get in. If you have either one of those criteria, click the link below to speak to a member of our team so we can see if you're a good fit to join the academy, and I'll see you guys there.
This is how you now take it to the next level as a broker, right? If you majority of the websites, guys, out there, the car rental websites out there, especially the exotic ones, 9 out of 10 of those companies, the owners don't even own those vehicles. These guys actually are all brokers. All right, they just put up websites on there, put a bunch of cars that belong to people like me and other car rental company owners out there. And when people call for a car, they call us to get the vehicle, all right, at a discount or for a commission, and then we do business together. All right. Customer's happy, gets the car they want. Broker's happy, he got his commission, and the rental car company's happy, they got their money. All right. So these brokers will go out there, they go create rental car websites. All right. They put all these cars on there, put a bunch of fancy cars, but you just make sure it's cars that you know someone that has those vehicles. All right. And you can do one or two things. Either you go establish a relationship with the person that owns those vehicles so you can get their permission. You must get their permission to put their vehicles on your site. You get their permissions, you put their vehicles on your website. That's one way you could do it. The second way you could do it is, say you know a rental car company has a yellow BMW i8. Go find you another yellow BMW i8 online, go get pictures of it, and you can put that one on your website, all right? That way, they don't come after you for using their picture without their permission. So once you do that, now you start getting customers going to your website, and once they see the vehicle, they want to rent it, all you have to do is go reach out to that rental car company and then get your commission. All right, so these guys will create these websites with all these vehicles, and then now here's what makes it really go nuclear. You start to do what they call SEO, search engine optimization. All right, this is pretty much how you make your website show up on the top of Google. So when somebody's in your city and they want to rent a vehicle and they type in, say, luxury car for rent in Miami, and then you see all the websites that pop up on the first front page of Google, those are companies that have been doing search engine optimization for a while. SEO takes a while. You have to, it's not a, ooh, let me just pay $10 and oops, I'm all the way up top. Heck no, that's not happening. All right, especially if you're in a really high demand city, you better start now, because SEO takes a while. It can take you months, all right, before you get to the first page of Google. Once you land on the first page of Google, that pretty much guarantees that your phone is going to be ringing. All right, if you can get to the front page of Google, because nobody goes to the second or the third page. All right, so SEO has to be one of the best investments as far as bang for your buck that you guys could do long term. So if you're looking long term, if you really are in this for the long term, you want to start now to be investing in SEO. I will go to websites like Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, or Upwork.com to go find a freelancer that can start doing some SEO for you for the cheap. And then that way it could take you months, but then your company, your website is slowly inching its way up to page 1 of Google. And once you're there, it's the sky's the limit at that point, right? So that's a long game. However, if you're getting started today, you need your phone ringing ASAP, right? You got bills to pay, you want to start making money, then I would say the easiest and the best bang for your buck is going to be Google pay-per-click ads. If you just set up, and we teach all of this stuff in our academy, how to run all of that stuff, but if you could start doing Google pay-per-click ads immediately from day one, you're up at the top. It actually leapfrogs you above everybody on the front page of Google, and you're right up there. All right, and then so that way, when a customer searches for, BMW for rent in Atlanta, your company pops up immediately up front, and then you start getting calls from day one. So that's typically the best bang for your buck. So that's one quick way. A second quick way is going to be Facebook ads. If you're looking to get calls ASAP, all right, so me and my company, we run Google ads regularly, and we also do SEO. So we do a combination of both. I know several people that Facebook ads have worked for excellently well. They live off of that. That's their bread and butter. It never really worked for me. I guess I just never found someone that could run them well per car rental company for me. So, and Google pay-per-click ads always worked for me, so I just stuck with that. So pretty much, if you want to go to paid marketing route, those would be your 3 best options, right? So it's going to be your SEO, it's going to be your Google pay-per-click, or it's going to be your Facebook ads. So guys, pretty much those would be your main ways, either organic or paid, for you guys to get started as a broker. All right, you're going to have to pick one of them, but you have to either have the social currency or be prepared to pay some money to start getting your phone ringing, all right? So now we've discussed what it means to be a broker. I've also told you guys how you can start to drum up business for yourself. Now, what about actually getting access to these vehicles? What do you do? How do you get access to these vehicles? How do you form these relationships, all right? So there's a few ways that you guys could do this. You can actually leverage family and friends. If you have family and friends that have these vehicles sitting in their driveways, they're not doing anything with them, go talk to them, all right? Go broker something with them, like, hey, I could run out your vehicle and we could do a 50-50 split. All right, we could do a 60-40 split in their favor, all right? So you're leveraging their cars, and you're the one actually doing all the work. That's another way. So that's typically, we call that being a joint venture agreement, but you could do that, all right? So that way you always have access to their vehicles, and anytime you get a renter, you just rent out their car and you get a commission, all right? So you can either just broker it out and get a commission, or you could become a partner with them on that car, all right? So you have exclusivity to it. You're the only one renting it out for them, and you get a fixed percentage from every sale, all right? So that's one way. So you could do that with family, with friends. You could find out you find strangers. Once people start to know that you get you do a lot of good business, other private individuals that you might just stumble across. You might be at a bar somewhere and people say, hey, you spark up conversation with somebody that has a nice car that, you know, your clientele wants, and you'd be surprised how many people are open to the idea of monetizing their vehicles. All right, I tell you, I keep saying this over and over again. The car rental business right now, today, is almost like Uber was at its infancy, right? People are just starting to catch on, and people are starting to get into it to where it's going to get to the point where almost everybody out there is renting their vehicles, all right? Because it makes no sense. I mean, we don't drive our cars 24 hours of the day. So half the time, we go several days without driving our cars. Why not monetize them? There's people now that monetize their swimming pools, all right? They actually have sites out there where you could place your swimming pool for rent, and people can rent your pool, use it, and you make money off of that. So why not? Why not rent out your cars too? So we're getting to that. The country is getting to that point where it's going to become the norm. So even till today, I constantly get phone calls from strangers. People just literally call our office all the time offering us vehicles. All right. And so you guys are also going to get to that point too. Once people start to know that this is what you do, people will start to offer you their vehicles. And so since you don't have a place to park them, all you have to do is just connect with the person and then let them know that, hey, just make sure you have the car available. Once I get a customer, let's do some business. All right, so now what you're gonna end up having is a long contact list of different people with different cars at your disposal. So whenever you have a demand, you always have a supply of vehicles. All right, so you just pretty much pick and choose whoever is more reliable, whoever pays you the best, that's who you go with. All right, so now that we've talked about how to get these vehicles, right? Another way too is, guys, you need to go to the rental car companies around you. All right, go shake hands, go kiss babies, buy them pizza. All right, go buy them, take them out to go get a drink. Go to car dealerships too. Go speak to car dealers, right? Go speak to the number one salesman in there. Let them know, hey, whenever you're selling a car, just, you know, let the customer know if they ever want to rent this vehicle out, you've got a plug that could help them with that. All right, that's the way I met my first broker. All right, the guy that sold me my car actually introduced me to him. So you guys can also do the same thing too. Go meet any dealers in your area, buy them pizza, let them know what you do. You would be surprised how many of them will take you up on that offer. All right, matter of fact, some of these dealers have their own cars and they're always at work, cars parked there. Hey, you mean you can rent this car out for me and I can make some money off of it? Sure, why not? You know, so that's how you can start to spread your social or increase your social currency, and then you're able to get more business coming in. And then also, guys, go visit all the local car rental companies, like I said, in your area. You want to go meet the owners, go tell them what you do. Most of them are open to the idea. Some aren't progressive enough. That's fine. Just move on to the next one, all right? And then go meet them. Let them know what you do. Tell them that you see, you have to lead with value, right? Let them know that, hey, I could help you run out these vehicles. Negotiate a commission, all right, that they'll give you. And trust me, 9 out of 10 will be ready to do business with you. However, guys, you have to treat this as a business. You have to have integrity. Sadly, in my city, one of the biggest brokers in my city is a crook. Almost everybody knows him as a criminal. Nobody wants to do business with him. All right, they blackball him. All right, typically he's able to get into you once you get started in the car rental game because you don't know no better. You just see this guy that's bringing you a lot of business, but then he always steals from you. He gets money from customers and won't give them to you. He wrecks your cars all the time. He's joyriding your vehicles, just doing crazy stuff to put us at risk. So a lot of us car rental owners have blacklisted him and nobody wants to do business with him. You don't want to be that person, all right? If you guys want to see a video that's all about brokers, and specifically one of the biggest brokers in Miami, go watch a video by Vice on YouTube. Vice, there's a Vice channel, VICE channel on YouTube, and I think the episode is called the secrets behind Miami's exotic car rental game, something like that. All right, go check the Vice channel on YouTube for it. And that whole episode is about one of the biggest brokers in Miami. And you guys can see there firsthand how this kid had all the potential in the world. I mean, had amazing social currency, but he just kept shooting himself in the foot. It's the same thing. All right, sometimes this whole broker game could be so intoxicating. You're driving fancy cars. He's got people entrusting you with their assets. I mean, this kid here in my city, I mean, I trusted him with my Lambos and all of that stuff, right? until he started robbing all of us. All right, and we had to cut him off. So you don't want to be that kind of person. You don't want to you don't want to put yourself in that position. Always move with integrity, and trust me, the sky will be the limit. All right, don't take money from these customers if at all possible. You let the customer pay the rental car company directly. If you do collect money from the customer, make sure you pass that on to the car rental company so they can issue a receipt. There's full transparency, because the worst thing you want to have is where customers start, accusing people of stealing money and filing lawsuits and all of that stuff. You don't want to get caught up in that mess. Another thing too is, guys, don't joyride in these vehicles. All right, people are going to trust you with their cars. Don't be putting miles on people's cars. All right, if you're picking up a vehicle from a car rental company to deliver to a customer, if you're the one handling the delivery, make sure, number one, that you have insurance for yourself, that you're fully covered. So that way, if anything happens in between while you're taking the car from the car rental company to your customer, your insurance can cover that, all right? Because things do happen. That's number one, because you want to make sure that the car rental company is protected. I don't let my brokers take my vehicles. Customer needs to come to us to get the cars. But however, maybe if you're working with somebody like a relative, a family member, or friend, you've got to make sure that you maintain good insurance. That way you don't expose those people to any kind of loss, all right? Or expose yourself to any lawsuits. So just make sure you're fully covered. Another thing too is also try to vet your clientele. If you know that the person you're bringing to the car rental company is a little suspect, you don't recommend that business. If you have any red flags, turn the deal down. All right, just move on to the next one. Not all money is good money. All right, that's another thing that ruins relationships between car rental companies and a lot of these brokers, because sometimes these brokers start bringing on these trashy deals, right? These young kids that have no business being in some of these vehicles, but then they make the recommendation, and these will be the kids that end up trashing the vehicle. All right, see, at the end of the day, right, just like with a real estate agent, if I was to go buy, if a realtor recommended a house to me, and I bought that house, and that house was just trash, everything was just falling apart after I bought it, I'm blaming the real estate agency that sold it to me. All right, that's who I'm blaming. All right, and they put me in that position. So it's the same thing too with a broker. At the end of the day, I need you guys need to take responsibility. The buck stops with you. All right. Yes, the car rental company, we also have to do our own background checks and all of that stuff. But still, at the end of the day, if you know you have you could handle some of the vetting up front, right? You don't need to pass every lead that calls you over to the car rental company. Vet the people out. Sometimes some of my better brokers even go as far as doing all the insurance verifications, all of that stuff. All right, they already checked everything out, and then they hand it over to us, and we will still do our checks, but at least it's gone through the second layer, right? So that's another thing too, guys. Be about your game. Be about your business. Take this seriously, all right? You want to make sure you take this seriously, because then the car rental companies will take you more seriously. So do your vetting up front. Make sure you're not sending trash. Here's another thing too. A lot of car rental companies, like for us, we don't like late night business. All right, the late night business, any deals after 7 p.m. tend to normally be high risk. All right, your average Joe doesn't want to rent a car at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. at night, or 1 a.m. in the morning, unless you're about to be up to no good. It's typically people that want to go out drinking or go clubbing, and most likely they're going to be intoxicated, driving your vehicle high as heck. Those are typically the deals that always end up with the car getting trashed, all right, or end up totaled or stolen, or something almost always happens, all right? So try to avoid that crowd also, unless you're, once again, 100% sure of the people, you vetted them out and you know it's legit and nothing's going to happen. Because the worst thing you want to do is get a reputation as someone that trashes people's vehicles, all right? Remember the broker I told you in my city? That's his rep right now, all right? Everyone's blackballed him because of that same reason. You give him your car, and within a month, your car is totaled, your car is gonna get stolen, something's gonna happen to your vehicle, all right? It's not a matter of if, it's when, all right? You're gonna see videos of him on Instagram joyriding your car, having his family members joyriding your vehicle, all that crap. You guys don't wanna do any of that, all right? So, once again, to recap, guys, you want to make sure you move with integrity. You want to make sure that, guys, financial transactions, if at all possible, let the rental car company handle it. So there's transparency, right? That way they're able to give the customer a receipt, send a rental car agreement, and all of that stuff. Because when something happens, and the insurance is going to need to see documentation, right? You want to make sure that you have proper documentation in place. Another thing that, guys, you should never do, which I've seen shady brokers do also, is say you do know maybe there's some kid, maybe a rapper that doesn't even have a driver's license, has no business being behind a car, probably high off a perk and all of that, and drugs and all of that stuff. But these brokers, because they know that the car rental company won't give the car over, because there's no driver's license, no insurance, the broker would lie and say, oh, it's for me. And he'll lie and say, yeah, it's for me. It's my birthday today, so I need a car to go drive out. You know, hey, can you give me a discount? And I got insurance. And the broker will go front their driver's license, front their insurance. All right. And then once he takes the car from the owner of the car, the rental car company, he goes around the block and he hands it over to this rapper, this person that has no business being behind the wheels of a car. All right, please, please, please do not do this. Do not use this for evil, guys. These are some of the dirty tactics that some of the slimeball brokers use also in my city. You don't want that, okay? Because all it takes is just one time, one incident happening, and insurance doesn't pay out the claim. And guess what? That rental car company is coming after you. All right, you don't want to put yourself in that position. You also don't want to expose that rental car company to that kind of loss. So these are some of the dirty things that some of the bad eggs in the space cause and give the brokers a bad name. If you guys want to see what a real broker looks like, there's some interviews I did with some brokers in the history of my channel. You guys can see those videos where I interview some brokers out there that are doing big things in the broker space. Those are the types of people that you want to model yourself after. So guys, I hope this video was helpful. Trust me, being a broker is not that hard, guys. You guys can get started today. But here's one thing I want you guys, before I end this video, here's one thing I want you guys to know. While you're being a broker, I still want you guys to be getting your credit where it needs to be at. Work on your credit, all right? Because at the end of the day, I don't want you to stay here. I want you guys to be able to end up eventually having your own vehicles and starting your own car rental company, all right? So the aim isn't to be here, but instead this is a stepping stone for you guys to start getting your own cars, all right? So I hope this video was helpful to you guys. You always wanted a broker video. I gave it to you guys. I hope it was helpful. Thank you guys very much, and I'll see you guys on the next one.